Okay, this PowerPoint supports the business and economics level one. This is continuing on from productivity, leading up to our first internal assessment. So this time we're looking at decisions that producers make in improving their productivity. So we're thinking about two ways that they can improve productivity, and alongside that, it's the alternative ways to increase productivity, aside from specialisation and division of labour that we looked at in the past. Okay, so just to recap, productivity is looking at the relationship between outputs and inputs, okay, in the production process. So essentially, increasing productivity is all about changing one of the variables, excuse me, that should be one of the variables, and that is the inputs to create more outputs. So very simply, okay, what you can do, you can either very simply just increase the number of resources that you're using, which will mean that you do produce more. However, doesn't necessarily mean productivity increases, but it just means you're producing more outputs. What you can also do is a different way, is using the same number of resources, you can reduce and reuse any waste resources. So anything that you make which is traditionally thrown away, can that be put together and formed another product out of? You can organize resources in an efficient way. So if you think about the way in which you're organizing all your staff, if you make them sit in a certain way, it might be a lot easier to to produce that final good or service. You can, of course, improve the training that's been given to staff, and in that they'll be more skilled, produce more quality goods, and hopefully less mistakes. You could also use better capital goods, better equipment, machinery, and also as well, a traditional one is if you introduce rewards for those people who have been working particularly hard. Hopefully, it will motivate others to do the same. Now, another way of increasing productivity, okay, is by trying to reduce the amount of capital that you use, to reduce the cost of production per item. Now, this is what we refer to as an economy of scale, and this is what big companies tend to receive as they get bigger. So largely, if you think about economies of scale, as a company gets bigger, they now therefore need to be buying things in much higher amounts, buying in bulk. Traditionally, if you buy in bulk, it becomes cheaper because the item that you are purchasing in bulk, or one of the items, becomes cheaper. Okay, so if you go as an organization, you go and buy one laptop for argument's sake would cost $1,000. If you go and buy 10 laptops, they may charge you $8,000. So therefore, for each individual laptop, it would be $800. So therefore, it's a saving of $200. That is what we refer to as a purchasing economy of scale. And only those producers that are big enough that need that amount of resources are going to be in a position to be able to do that one. Secondly, technical. This is whereby you, as you're getting bigger, you can afford to buy the best equipment and the most efficient equipment. Likewise, managerial, you're going to be the best organization, so the best managers are going to want to work for you. They're going to be the most efficient, they're going to be using resources in the best way, less mistakes and less uh, time possibly to take on getting the jobs done. And then finally, financial. As a company gets bigger, banks would like to loan money at a cheaper rate, so a lower interest rate to these bigger organisations, and therefore that makes all their overall cost a lot cheaper because it's cheaper for them to pay back the amounts.